Good evening, my dear. Tonight, we journey into the heart of Vermont, to a place shrouded in pine-scented fog and mystery. A region so eerily quiet, it has been called a Bermuda Triangle of the mountains. The Bennington Triangle. Between 1945 and 1950, people vanished without a trace. Entire search parties returned empty-handed. Some say the woods swallowed them. Others whisper of a curse. But I ask you, what if the truth lies far beyond our comprehension? So pour yourself a cup of something warm, settle into your favorite chair, and follow me into the forest shadows, where time bends and reason fades. I am Sebastian, your humble host and curator of strange tales and haunted truths. Welcome to From Beyond. Shall we begin?
Today, we're not just scratching the surface. We're diving headfirst into one of the most chilling enigmas of American history. Imagine a place of breathtaking beauty, nestled in the heart of Vermont, that holds a terrifying secret. A place where, across a mere 5-year span, 5 individuals simply vanished. No trace, no answers. We're talking about the Bennington Triangle. Get ready to have your perceptions of reality, well, twisted. Lock your doors, dim the lights, and let's unravel this mystery. In the southwestern corner of Vermont, a region of stunning natural beauty unfolds. Towering green mountains, ancient dense forests, and a tranquility so profound it feels almost sacred. This is the setting for the Bennington Triangle, an area primarily centered around Glastenbury Mountain, a seemingly serene landscape that has become synonymous with the inexplicable. For decades, whispers and theories have swirled around a series of perplexing disappearances that began in the mid-1940s and continued into the mid-1950s. 5 individuals spanning different ages and backgrounds vanished within this small geographic anomaly, leaving behind nothing but questions and a legacy of chilling fear. Was it the unforgiving wilderness, a human predator, or could something far more ancient, perhaps even supernatural, be at play in these ancient woods? Let's peel back the layers of this enduring mystery, one missing person at a time, and explore the theories that attempt to make sense of the void they left behind. Our unsettling journey into the heart of the Bennington Triangle begins in December 1945, with the vanishing of Midi Rivers. A respected 74-year-old experienced hunter and trapper, Midi was out with 4 other hunters near the Long Trail, a well-known hiking path in the Glastenbury area. They were returning to their camp, and Midi, familiar with the terrain, decided to walk ahead of the group. He was wearing a red cap, a common safety measure. The others heard what they believed was a single gunshot shortly after he disappeared from view, but dismissed it as another hunter. When they arrived at camp, Midi wasn't there. Despite being an expert woodsman, he simply vanished. An immediate and extensive search was launched, involving hundreds of local residents, state police, and even military personnel from nearby Fort Devens. They scoured the area for days, enduring harsh winter conditions. Not a single trace was found. No footprints in the freshly fallen snow, no dropped equipment, no sign of a struggle. Nothing to indicate where a man, however experienced, could have gone. It was as if the very ground had opened up and swallowed him whole, leaving behind only unanswered questions and a growing unease in the community. The red cap, designed for visibility, ironically only served to highlight his complete absence. Less than a year later, the mystery deepened significantly with the disappearance of Paula Jean Weldon in December 1946. Paula was an 18-year-old sophomore at Bennington College, described as intelligent, adventurous, and fiercely independent. On a Tuesday afternoon, after telling her roommate she was going for a walk, she set out on the long trail. She was last seen by several witnesses: a local gas station attendant, an elderly couple, and even a former circus performer who gave her directions. All confirmed seeing her walking north on the trail, dressed in a red coat, blue jeans, and sneakers. But like Midi Rivers, she never returned. Paula's disappearance triggered one of the largest and most intensive search efforts in Vermont history. The state police, hundreds of students, faculty, and local volunteers, even the FBI, led by an agent who had worked on the Limburg kidnapping case, converged on the area. Bloodhounds were brought in, psychics were consulted, and a substantial reward was offered. The search stretched for weeks, then months, covering every inch of the rugged terrain around Glastenbury Mountain. Posters with her image were distributed nationwide. Yet, despite the unprecedented scale of the search, not a single piece of tangible evidence was ever found. No discarded clothing, no dropped items, no sign of a fall or struggle. The lack of any trace for an inexperienced hiker in an area so thoroughly combed defied all logic. The case became a national sensation, leaving her family, friends, and the entire nation in a state of bewildered grief. What happened to Paula Jean Weldon on that seemingly ordinary Tuesday afternoon? The absence of any answer only magnified the growing dread surrounding the Bennington Triangle. Then, the bizarre occurred in December 1949, when the Bennington Triangle claimed another victim under truly inexplicable circumstances: James E. Tetford. James, a 68-year-old World War II veteran, was traveling by bus from St. Albans to Bennington to visit relatives. Numerous witnesses on the bus confirmed seeing him aboard. He was reportedly chatting with other passengers, his belongings stowed in the overhead rack. The bus made several stops along its route. However, when the bus arrived at its final destination in Bennington, James Tetford was gone. His luggage remained on the rack, untouched. The windows were closed. The doors were secure. There was no indication he had disembarked at any of the previous stops, nor was there any plausible way for him to have exited a moving vehicle without being noticed. This case sent shivers down the spine of investigators. How does a man simply vanish from a closed, moving vehicle in full view or potential view of other passengers? Unlike the previous disappearances in the vast wilderness, this occurred in a confined, observable space. It introduced a new, chilling dimension to the Bennington phenomena, suggesting that the disappearances weren't solely confined to the remote mountainside, but could occur under seemingly impossible, almost reality-bending conditions. Was this an elaborate, undetectable abduction? Or did it point to something far more esoteric, something that defies the very laws of physics? The Tetford case remains one of the most perplexing missing person cases in history, defying any rational explanation and further cementing the area's reputation for the inexplicable. The unsettling pattern continued in October 1950, with the vanishing of 8-year-old Paul Jeffson. Paul was with his mother, who was tending to pigs at their farm near the Summit Road, an area close to the Bennington Triangle's perceived boundaries. Paul was playing nearby as his mother worked. For a mere moment, she turned her back to feed the animals. When she looked back, Paul had simply walked ahead of her on a short, well-worn path that led to a small barn. He was never seen again. The immediate search for Paul was swift and desperate. His parents, neighbors, and later law enforcement scoured the farm and the surrounding woods. The area was not vast or particularly rugged compared to Glastenbury Mountain. Yet despite the immediate response and the small area of the disappearance, Paul, like the others, vanished without a trace. The heartbreaking image of a child disappearing within earshot of his mother from a seemingly safe and familiar environment, adds another layer of terror and incomprehensibility to the Bennington enigma. It shattered the illusion of safety, demonstrating that even close to civilization, the unknown could strike with devastating swiftness. And finally, in October 1950, less than a month after Paul Jeffson, another woman disappeared. Frida Langer. Frida, 53, was hiking with her cousin near Somerset Reservoir, also within the general vicinity of the Triangle, an area known for its beautiful but challenging trails. She accidentally slipped and fell into a stream. Rather than continuing wet and cold, she decided to return to their campsite, located only a few hundred yards away, to change her clothes. She told her cousin she'd be back shortly. She set off, walking the short distance, and was never seen alive again. An extensive search was immediately launched, focusing on the area around the reservoir and the path back to the campsite. The search continued for 7 months. Then, in May 1951, over half a year after her disappearance, Frida Langer's badly decomposed body was discovered in the Somerset Reservoir. The chilling detail. Her body was found in an area that had been repeatedly and thoroughly searched by professional divers and search teams during the initial investigation. This discovery raised more questions than it answered. Why was her body not found earlier, despite such extensive efforts in the same location? What caused her death? Was it an accidental drowning? And if so, how could her body have eluded detection for so long in an area so meticulously combed? The circumstances surrounding Frida Langer's death remain unclear, adding a final, perplexing piece to the puzzle of the Bennington Triangle disappearances. While her case had a tragic resolution, it underscored the unsettling pattern of anomalous events within this peculiar geographic region, leaving an enduring shadow over the verdant Vermont landscape. With such a consistent string of inexplicable vanishings, the natural human impulse is to seek answers. Over the years, numerous theories have emerged, ranging from the grounded and logical to the truly esoteric and fantastical. One of the most immediate and common explanations points to the harsh and unforgiving nature of the Vermont wilderness. Glastenbury Mountain, at the heart of the Triangle, is renowned for its rugged, steep terrain, sudden and severe weather changes, and incredibly dense forests. Hypothermia, accidental falls, or simply getting hopelessly lost are very real and present dangers for anyone venturing off-marked trails. However, this explanation struggles significantly to account for the sheer lack of any evidence. For experienced outdoorsmen like Midi Rivers, or the massive organized searches for Paula Weldon and Paul Jepson, the complete absence of bodies, discarded clothing, or even a single footprint defies conventional understanding of wilderness accidents. The repeated thorough searches by hundreds of trained professionals and volunteers suggest that if the victims had merely succumbed to the elements, some trace, however small, should have been found. And this theory certainly offers no explanation for James Tetford's bizarre disappearance from a moving bus. Another more chilling theory proposes the presence of a serial killer. While the idea of a lone predator operating in the region is a possibility, the victims had little in common beyond their disappearances in the same general area and within a relatively short time frame. Their ages, backgrounds, and the vastly different circumstances of their vanishings, from a remote trail to a public bus, make a single perpetrator a less cohesive theory. Furthermore, a serial killer would typically leave some form of evidence or a pattern of disposal, which is conspicuously absent in these cases. Then we delve into the realm of forgotten or hidden hazards. Could there be abandoned mine shafts, hidden caves, or sinkholes that swallowed the victims whole? While Vermont does have its share of old mining operations, no such features capable of explaining these specific disappearances have ever been definitively linked or discovered in the immediate vicinity of each event. And again, this theory does little to explain the Thetford case. Given the utter lack of conventional answers, many have turned to the more paranormal and supernatural explanations. The sheer incomprehensibility of these cases often leads minds to consider what lies beyond our current scientific understanding. Some theories involve UFOs and alien abduction, suggesting that the individuals were taken by extraterrestrial beings. The idea of advanced technology capable of vanishing people without a trace, particularly in the case of James Thetford from a moving bus, resonates with the inexplicable nature of the disappearances. The swift, silent, and absolute removal of these individuals could be indicative of an intelligence beyond our own. Others point to interdimensional portals or temporal anomalies. The notion that the Bennington Triangle is a thin place where the veil between dimensions is weaker, allowing people or objects to slip into another reality, is a popular, albeit speculative, theory within the paranormal community. The idea that individuals could simply step out of our reality and into another, where they would be irretrievable, could explain the utter lack of evidence. The suddenness and completeness of the vanishings certainly lend themselves to this kind of fantastical explanation, where concepts like struggle or physical evidence become irrelevant, adding to the mystique of the local legends and folklore. Native American tribes, particularly the Abenaki, reportedly avoided Glastenbury Mountain, considering it a cursed or sacred place, inhabited by malevolent spirits or mythical creatures. Stories of stone giants or other forest entities have circulated for generations, long before modern settlers arrived. These aren't just quaint tales. They are warnings passed down through oral tradition, hinting at an ancient, perhaps forgotten, danger embedded within the land itself. Could these legends be based on some primordial truth, a wisdom of the land that modern society has lost? Perhaps the very energy of the mountain itself is somehow responsible, drawing individuals into an inescapable void. And finally, there's the simplest, yet most unsettling thought: a combination of unprecedented bad luck and the sheer, overwhelming power of the wilderness. Perhaps each case, while seemingly connected by proximity and the similar nature of their disappearance, was an isolated tragedy. But the clustering of these specific, inexplicable disappearances in such a defined area, within such a short time frame, still begs the fundamental question of why this particular spot seems to be a magnet for the lost. The Bennington Triangle remains an open wound in the fabric of reality, a place where the ordinary gives way to the utterly extraordinary. Decades have passed since the last reported disappearance in the Bennington Triangle, but the mystery continues to captivate and confound. No new definitive evidence has emerged for any of the cases. The landscapes of the Bennington Triangle remain as beautiful and as foreboding as ever. Search and rescue operations have become far more technologically advanced today, utilizing drones with thermal imaging, sophisticated ground-penetrating radar, and highly trained K9 units. Yet, the chilling question lingers. If these precise disappearances were to happen today, would we be any closer to finding answers? The sheer scale and unforgiving nature of the wilderness, even with modern tools, still present an immense, almost insurmountable challenge when a person truly vanishes without a trace. The cases of Midi Rivers, Paula Jean Weldon, James Thetford, and Paul Jeffson remain officially unsolved cold cases, gathering dust in police archives. Frida Langer's death, while her body was found, still holds an aura of profound mystery regarding the circumstances of her disappearance and the long-delayed discovery of her remains. Each year, dedicated enthusiasts, independent researchers, and curious minds continue to delve into old reports, hoping for a new lead, a forgotten detail, or a fresh perspective that might finally unlock the enduring secrets of the Triangle. The lure of the unknown and the desperate hope for answers for the families keeps the flame of investigation burning. The Bennington Triangle stands as a potent and haunting reminder of the vast unknown that still exists, even in our increasingly charted and technologically advanced world. It's a place where the veil between what we know and what we can't comprehend seems impossibly thin, a geographical anomaly that defies our understanding of reality. Whether it's the raw, untamed power of nature asserting its dominance, the chilling hand of the paranormal reaching into our dimension, or something entirely beyond our current scientific lexicon, the stories of the vanished continue to echo through the ancient, whispering forests of Vermont. They serve as a chilling testament to the enduring mystery of the human experience, the fragility of life, and the humbling limits of our knowledge. Some places, it seems, prefer to keep their secrets forever hidden. I have told you what I know. Whether you believe it or not is entirely up to you.
The forest remains. Still. Silent. Watching. What became of those who vanished within the Bennington Triangle? Were they lost to nature, madness, or something far older and far darker? Perhaps the answers lie not in the trees, but in what lies between them. Thank you for wandering these haunted paths with me. If this tale has stirred your curiosity, do subscribe and return as we explore the forgotten, the forbidden, and the from beyond. Tread gently, sleep lightly, and remember, not every soul finds its way out of the dark.